All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is something that absolutely needs to be spoken about. Now, this will just be a little bit of an introduction because a lot of you are probably unfamiliar with what this is or how it's going on, where it's going on, and that type of thing. So it's going on in Victoria. So what do we have here? Secret preference deals for cash are active in Victoria. Okay, so what do I mean by this? What do I mean? Well, many of you are familiar with preferences in terms of parties that negotiate where other parties will be located on their how to vote cards. Now, things work a little bit differently in Victoria, that's right. So for the Upper House, every party must submit a grouped ticket to the VEC. Okay, the grouped ticket will contain the order of preferences that a party nominates for their own preference flow. Okay, so for example, Liberal may have, Darren Hinch's number 2, and down the chain it goes. So what are we actually getting at here when we talk about secret preference deals for cash? Well, it's been publicized in the media widely, so you can go and look it up. But these are deals that take place behind closed doors where effectively money is exchanged for preference arrangements. It's based highly on mathematics, and usually these deals are comprised of what is referred to as micro parties across different regions in order to mathematically formulate the right combination for getting certain members elected into the Upper House in Victoria. Okay, so what it looks like is essentially handing over several thousands of dollars to what you might refer to as a preference broker. The preference broker then speaks to a range of minor parties. It doesn't matter if they're far left, far right, in the center, conservative, progressive, it doesn't matter. And as a result of that payment, the likelihood of a certain candidate getting elected is dramatically increased. We've seen candidates using this model in Victoria and in other states in Australia they were able to get elected on a very, very small percentage of the vote. These types of deals have come under much criticism in the past by various figures. Some MPs have been outspoken about it, claiming that it is a perversion of democracy and that votes should not be for sale. Others argue that, well, without these types of deals, the minor parties would never stand a chance. So we really need to knuckle down on this, ladies and gentlemen. I do not think this is an ethical way of running a campaign, mostly due to the surreptitious nature of the deal itself. The deals are done behind closed doors, unbeknownst to the voters. So what we've seen in the past are voters choosing a certain party that they would like to get elected, say above the line on the Upper House ticket, not actually realizing that their preferences, should they not get their first pick, will be funneled down the chain, potentially to a party or a candidate that they would never vote for in the first place. Just imagine that. Imagine you're voting for a pro-freedom party, only to find out later that due to the preference flow, your flow went to somebody who is highly in favor of lockdowns. You'd be pretty devastated. So this is just a little introduction. I want to just put this into your mind to let you know that me and my team, we will not be dealing in any type of exchanges in terms of money for preferences. What we need in this country is ethical, transparent dealings between like-minded parties, and that is exactly what I will demonstrate here with our campaign run. And I think a lot of parties are going to demonstrate that as well. So as you see here, seats in the Victorian Upper House are up for sale. This is just a simple matter of fact. So ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to make you aware that this is going on, and you can expect to see further coverage from myself regarding the deal of preferences for money as the campaign rolls along. There's also something important to point out, very, very important, and that is that the state election here in Victoria, it runs a little bit differently from the federal election that we just experienced. Let me tell you why. In the federal election, in the Senate, which is also referred to the Upper House, in theory, you can number a single box above the line as number 1, and that would be considered a valid vote, okay? Now, the downside to that is that if you were not to get your number 1 selection, your vote would be dead in the water. It doesn't quite work like that in Victoria. Let me tell you what I mean. When voting in the Upper House in Victoria, if you were to do the same thing and only number a single box above the line, your vote would flow down through the preferences of the nomination submitted to the VEC by the party of which you voted for. Okay? So in other words, in Victoria, in the Upper House ballot ticket, if you vote a number 1 above the line and that party does not get in, your vote could end up going down the chain, potentially into the hands of a party that you would never vote for in a million years. This is a major, major problem, and it's one that we're going to talk about more on MCJ Report, so make sure that you stay tuned. Thank you for watching. To make sure you never miss an episode, sign up at mcjreport.com. Catch you on the next one.